Hmm. Good morning from Vernon, British Columbia, in Canada, of course, at 20 after 7 on January the 27th, 2022. I thought maybe we'd talk just a little bit today about, this whole blanking business of global warming. you know, what next? I've been thinking about it, and you know what bothers me? I hear all these, people talking about, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. Oh, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and we've got to get rid of cars, we've got to get rid of oil and gas, and now gas stoves, and cows, and all kinds of ridiculous crap. And you know what the problem is? To be honest, most of these guys have an English accent, and that just turns me off because it's not the English accent that bothers me, but it's the attitude of the English speaker. That's what bothers me. To put it in perspective, let's put it in perspective. The sun is what rules the weather on this planet. Either heats up, cools down, creates wind, ice, snow, blah, blah, blah. Now, we're on a globe in the universe. We're spinning at, get this, 67,000 miles an hour around the sun. We're traveling at 67,000 miles per hour right now. And then we're spinning at 1,000 miles at the same time. 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Now, with all that going on, and we're going through space and around and back again, and so far we haven't hit anything. So are the other planets. So is the sun. All the planets are spinning around in a circle. Nobody's hitting anything. You look out, they have these big telescopes looking out in space, and what do you see? Tons and tons of satellites or planets and Milky Ways and gosh knows what, all spinning around. Nobody's hitting each other. They get a new telescope. They got a new one out now, and it's looking farther out, way farther out. What do they get? More Milky Way stars, blah blah, planets. Just goes on and on and on. Now who knows? Maybe it goes on forever for all I know. But somehow, somewhere, some intelligence has put together a system where these all have to have an orbit. They have an orbit somehow to keep traveling around at great speeds, and none of them hit each other. You go figure that out. To tell me that I'm the one who's responsible for global warming and heating up of this planet, it's all based on their possibility. It's nothing for sure. It's all possibilities. And we're going to do all this stuff on somebody's possibility. They want to get rid of CO2, which is carbon, basically. They want to reduce carbon footprint, everything. But how do you explain this? Are they going to kill all the green growth of this planet? Is that what they're after? Because that's what it will happen. If you reduce carbon, you're going to reduce growth. You increase carbon, you increase growth. More crops, more trees, more grass, more everything. No, they don't want to do that. And I don't understand how they can, with a bald face, say that they want to reduce it. It's now supposed to be at like 400 parts per million. And that's barely enough to keep anything green. Barely. Greenhouses, if they're going to grow stuff in a greenhouse, they got to buy CO2 and pump it in to get it up to 1,000 or 1,200 to really get the growth going. Now, do you have to be a whiz to understand that? My problem is that people stand around with their mouth open, gawking, and listening to some guy spouting off about something, and they swallow it instantly. It's just a bloody shame. I can't believe that they do it. They have no way of proving it. It's all possibilities. And you hear some people who got their head on, and they say, this is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And there's a lot of lies involved. You know, you've maybe heard this. They said 97% of the scientists, say there's global warming and blah, blah, blah. That is not true. That is a lie. They don't say that. They say maybe there's some global warming now because the planet changes all the time. You know, nothing has stayed the same ever. And it's not going to stay the same. I think that the world has basically weather changes happening, and who knows if this isn't just the same as has happened before. It most likely has. Only we see such a narrow window, so we get all panicky about it, and that's when we make the big mistake. You know, do you have to be very smart to realize that when people tell you they've got to do something about cow farting or whatever the heck it is, I mean, what are they talking about? Are they nuts? And they got to get rid of gas stoves because it causes asthma in children. No, no, no. It's part of their fossil fuel, determined to get rid of fossil fuels. This is something that's infected their brain. Fossil fuels create CO2. CO2 creates green growth. Now, how do you figure that? I mean, I don't see that there can be really too much with trying to cut down on exhaust of cars when we have millions of cars on this planet. But we've had fluctuations in CO2, I guess, when there was no cars. So it looks to me like the alarmists are going to win, and they're going to convince all the sheep, which it is. Remember that Jesus said that they all are like sheep and have gone astray. That's the truth. People are sheep, including me. If I'm not careful, I'm a sheep. I will believe anything that somebody says, just like a sponge, until I decided not to, and only believe what's true, what is really true. And that's what God has said in the Bible, and that's what Jesus said. In his 33 years, you can look it up. You get a red letter Bible, Bible with the red letters that it's all only the words of Jesus Christ, and you can read what he said, and that you can take to the bank because he's the creator. He knows what he's talking about. He's he's way above our pay grade, I'll tell you. But anyway, being I'm the age I am, uh, I'm going to write it out because hopefully I won't be around when this stupid stuff takes place and you have politicians that are, you know, like the president, prime minister of this country wants to fine people a carbon tax, whether they use carbon or not, 2 or 3 times. And that is supposed to help something? What does that help? Putting a burden on people? Ridiculous. Oh, I hope some smart people come up eventually and put a stop to this crap. And hopefully, it won't be me, but I mean, it could be somebody younger or something. Either that or something else will take its place. We haven't had a world war for a long time, so they don't have that to think about. If they did, they'd most likely forget about global warming because people have a tendency to do stuff like that. Anyway, that's my little riff on global warming and phew, the the idiocy of it all really is. Hopefully that didn't depress anybody. But anyway, that's my take on it. Do whatever you like. Anyway, thanks for listening. Goodbye and God bless.